Well, I think I'd have been very upset if it was given against me. It was a tough penalty in terms of a decision, but obviously the ball has hit his arm, and we're all in a little bit in the dark about what is handball and what isn't handball. You know, intentional, unintentional, I don't know. But listen, I can understand Arsenal being very angry about that, but we deserved it. You know, we've been in there against. We've had 3 or 4 games here where we haven't had a break at all, really. And today we went toe to toe with Arsenal at times, not all the time, but enough times to take them on, and with attacking intent, Howe and Jay down the sides. It was nice. It was good for me to see because the message is getting through, and it was nice to go into the dressing room and say, look, you keep doing the right things, and you'll get a break. And we did get a break today.
Is that perhaps the fortune you're looking for then?
Maybe, but I think we need a little bit more than fortune. There was a lot of pressure on us today. Bottom of the league, all the teams won down the bottom. Playing Arsenal, we had to get something today, and we had to deal with the pressure. And I thought, fair play to the players, they did. And it would have been really tough for our fans, I think, to have seen the team put that commitment in, drink their New Year's Eve tonight on the back of a defeat. So I'm really, really pleased for them that we got something for them to enjoy, if only for a little while. A nice gin and tonic.
Was it particularly enjoyable for you the fact that they responded to Arsenal taking the lead so late on? Because they could have willed to.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a worry, I have to say, because I think it was a blow that if I was a player, tough to take that. And the way we conceded it as well. Poor James, he's come on and he's joined the wall, which he was encouraged to do because we felt we needed another body in there, and then he's turned his back. But he'll learn from that lesson. He's a strong character anyway. And he acknowledged that in the dressing room. I don't know, it could have been 0-0 that game, really, but it could have been 2-2. In the first half we had some great moments, and it was great for Jay, I thought, that and brave of him to take that penalty, because his performance was outstanding today, but he just lacks that spark that makes him special. And that goal will give him, hopefully, a lease of life.
Does that potentially, though, I mean, I suppose you already know that you need strength in attacking areas, but the kind of positions you were getting in today looked really promising, but perhaps without that sort of central striker or that kind of creative player that might turn that into goals?
I think we've got to do something in the window. I think I look at it, and when I look at the history of teams in this position, when you look at 7 wins in a calendar year, it's telling you something. And as much as we've changed the intent and tried to change the psychology, I think just a change of character in the dressing room might help everybody. So I will be pushing to hopefully get somebody in.
It sounds like James has already held his hand up in the dressing room. Do you consider that done now?
Yeah, of course. We're not going to go over it. I think John Carver did suggest a bit of old school, put him in the goal and let's all kick a ball at him to teach him a lesson, but we will go away from that. We're much more intelligent these days, John Carver, thank you. But James is, listen, he changed the game a little bit. He started getting down that left side and we had a little bit of joy out of him. So we'll lean on that rather than him turning his back.
When were you aware that Arsenal, pretty instantly, that he was not happy about it?
Sorry?
Arsenal, did he say anything to you?
No. No.
With regards to bringing players in, I know what you said there, you're obviously keen to bring people in, but you previously said as well money's tight. I mean, did the going bottom and the situation down there, will that make you force a rethink at board level about the funds available?
I don't know about a rethink, but I think 7 wins in the calendar year says it all, really. We got to move something around if we can. I mean, it's not always possible, as you know. We know his money's tight, but I brought players in, not big signings before, but they can change the dynamic of the dressing room, and I think there's a good dynamic in there. By the way, I'm not saying it's a negative one, but just a change sometimes is good.
How important is it that you keep all your key players on?
Well, it is important. I mean, obviously, you don't want to lose a key player, but as we stand at the moment, we are 2 days in before we go to West Ham. And that's my focus at the moment, if I'm honest, rather than the window. So I've got to turn this team around, and mentally it's a battle, because I think it's easy to sell yourself, I can't do it. You know, it's 2 games away. We got to have a positive agenda going to West Ham. It'll be a tough game. They've had 6 days rest, and that is the bigger issue than anything today. How we have got 2 days in professional Premier League football, putting players at risk, in my opinion, of injury. It's not right, that. It's terrible. You know, we all know that there's pressure on TV companies for ratings and everything else, and games, and I understand that. But the league's got to be stronger, and say 2 days is not right.
But you're going to be forced into changes then?
Of course I am. There's some players who wouldn't be able to cope with that. I'll be putting them at risk. Matty Phillips, for example, I wouldn't want to take Matty Phillips off if I didn't know I had West Ham. I felt he was struggling a little bit, and if he had pulled that hamstring, I couldn't take that today. So, you know, it's things like that. I've got to keep my and I want him for West Ham as well. So there's decisions like that are being made. I'm sure Arsenal made a couple very similar.
Have the club made any presentations to the league about
Yeah, I
that?
think we have. Yeah, strong ones.
You couldn't imagine a certain clubs having that.
Well, I'm glad you said that, sir, not me.